today's gonna kind of be a weird old episode because, as you can see, I'm recording it like a DJ. I've got these headphones on. There's a load of noise. Can you hear that? That kind of sounds like a airplane taking off behind me. There's a load of noise. There's all sorts going on in this room. I'm trying to edit another video behind me right now, and the reason I'm using this mic is because of all the noise behind me, so this is going to hopefully get rid of some of it. So this is going to be a bit of a different looking kind of episode as to what we've got before, and I can see, actually, looking through the viewfinder, that screen's really bright behind me because I'm recording the audio straight into the computer behind me. Having said all of that, and I'm gonna try and move this so wow, I'm having some real problems with this mic here. Come on, there we go. No, do not fall, little one. Stupid thing. Oh my god, what are you doing? No. I'm having a real wrestle with this mic here. I'm gonna leave it really far away like that and just go like this. So today is actually a really cool episode despite everything else that's going on around me. I'm finally talking about Stoicism. It's something I've been reading a lot about. That's really wobbly, innit? There's going to be an accident in this episode. At some point today, this is going to just knock over, especially if there's a cat that comes in this room. So yeah, Stoicism. So I think this is the first time I've ever spoken about Stoicism, and there's going to be a lot of me moving this mic up and down as well. Yeah, I'm going to tell you 5 things I've learned about Stoicism that I think you should learn, even if you're not into Stoicism, even if you don't even like the sound of Stoicism. It's going to be useful stuff for you to learn. This is dropping. That's it, it's come off now. I'm going to have to hold it. This episode's not going well. Number 1, I think I'm going to have to tell you what Stoicism is, first of all, because you might not be familiar with Stoicism. Stoicism is just a philosophy. Like many other philosophies out there, it's just a philosophy. It's a method of thinking that is very, very popular with emperors and famous people and very successful people. In fact, it's something that stood the test of time over a very long period of time, and the pioneers of it were people like Marcus Aurelius, famous from Gladiator film. I'll show you a clip so you know what I'm talking about.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And then the other famous people are people like Seneca, who you may or may not have heard of if you're into philosophy, but I'm into philosophy, so yeah, you've probably not heard of him. But it is a philosophy that is very popular with successful people because it's very simple, it's very wise, and it's got a lot of really good stuff to say in it. So that is basically what Stoicism is. It's just a philosophy of thought. And I'm going to tell you the most important things I think you need to know about it that I think could potentially help you in life. Number 2 is quite appropriately named number 2 because it is the 2 things you can control in your life. Stoicism talks about this a lot. I mean a lot. It really hammers this point home to the point where it gets annoying. But it talks about this a lot. This is one of the central philosophies of Stoicism. The school of thought is that you can only control 2 things in your life. Those 2 things that you can control are very simple. Number 1 is your own actions, and number 2 is your own judgments of other people's actions. When you start to think like this, when you just wake up in the morning and you say, right, I can't control anything else that's going to happen in the world today. The only thing I can do is control my own actions and control my own judgments. When you start to think like that, it makes life a million times easier because normally we walk through life, every day of life, worrying about other people. We worry about what people think about us. We worry about what people are going to do during the day. We worry about everything. We worry about everything that's going to happen to us in the day. And the majority of those things that we worry about are actually things that we can't even control, even if we wanted to control them. So the central school of thought around Stoicism is stop worrying about the things that you can't control, that you could never hope to control in your entire life. So just don't worry about them anymore. So the only two things you can control is yourself and your own judgments. So you can control your own actions. You can wake up on a morning and decide to punch somebody in the face. Or you can wake up on the morning and you can decide to smile at that person. It's completely your choice because you have got your own actions. And then your own judgments is basically how you react to certain situations. You can choose to be angry at a situation, or you can choose to be happy about a situation, or you can choose to be neutral about a situation. The point here is that you can choose. You can choose whether you get angry or you stay happy. So you can control your judgments completely. This central idea behind Stoicism is all about control. Focus on the things you can control, which are only a very small part of life. Number 3 is amor fati. That is basically a Latin phrase, and I'm going to put it on the screen because I've probably pronounced it wrong. It's a core philosophy of lots of things, in fact, but it's actually a core philosophy of Stoicism. And what amor fati means is love fate. That basically means love the fact that things are going to happen. Love fate. Love randomness. Don't be actually annoyed when things don't go your way, because that's life. Things don't ever go your way, and if you expect them to go your way, you're going to be setting yourself up for a disappointment. This comes back again to the central idea in Stoicism that you should only worry about your own actions and not worry about other people's actions. So if you've gone for a job interview, for example, you shouldn't worry about the outcome of that job interview. You shouldn't worry whether you was liked or not, and you shouldn't worry if you're going to get the job, and you shouldn't worry about controlling the other people's actions because you can't. So whatever's going to happen in that situation, and no matter what the outcome is, you should learn to love it. Because it was just fate. It was just going to happen. It was just random, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Number 4, and now this one's a bit of a weird one, and this one's probably a bit dark, maybe. It's memento mori, and I've probably pronounced that wrong again. That means remember you are going to die. Remember death. Basically, that's literally what it means. Remember death. Remember that you're going to die. And I'm going to say it one more time because it's particularly dark. Remember you are going to die. So that means that you should always remember that you're going to die. And when you think like this, it's not the matter that you are thinking negatively. It's not the fact that you're thinking in a dark fashion. You're not actually thinking about death specifically or dying. What you're thinking about is remembering that you're going to die. So stop doing all the stupid stuff that you're doing on this earth. Stop doing all those silly things. Stop going to a job that you hate, and stop hanging out with those friends that you don't like. Just do the things you enjoy. Obviously, we can't spend our entire life doing the things that we enjoy, but the idea behind this and remembering that you are going to die is that you do more of the things that you want to do. You don't spend as much time in your life doing the things that you do not want to do, because there's no point in doing them because you might die tomorrow. Bit dark, again, it's very dark, but it's a really useful way of thinking, even if you don't actually want to think about this. And actually some of the very top people of Stoicism actually actively meditated on the idea of dying. They thought and sat down every day, I could die today. I'm not recommending you be so dark and so miserable, but it's a worthwhile thing to contemplate in your life sometimes, remembering that life is short. So that's basically the idea behind it. Number 5, this is the final one, and this one's a little bit weird, but it's actually something that Stoicism teaches as well. This is taken from, and I can't remember which person it's taken from now, but this is taken from one of the Stoic philosophers who ruminated that food is one of the best tests of self-control. If you can't control food, if you can't control what you eat, if you can't control what you put in your mouth every single day and eating a healthy diet, then there's not much else in your life that you're going to be able to control. And Stoicism teaches you how to control that as well by remembering that you've got a choice every day you wake up. You can either choose to do the right thing or you can choose to do the wrong thing. You are in complete control of your actions, and it's important that you never really forget that. So today's episode was probably a bit serious. Yeah, actually very serious, and poorly recorded because I've had to use this mic. But I hope you enjoyed this introduction to Stoicism. I am back usually every Friday. You'll notice that it's actually not Friday today now, and I expected this because I recorded this really late on Friday and it's taken ages to upload, so it might even be Sunday now when this goes live. I don't know. It'll be late though. I know it'll be late, but I usually record one YouTube video every week, and it's not the only thing I'm doing either. I record a podcast 5 days a week all about self-improvement and the things that I've learned, much like the topic that I've spoke about today. But in my YouTube videos, I usually show cats and things like that. But this week, nothing like that whatsoever because I didn't have enough time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Cue the end bit and my website and all that stuff, and